Right, welcome to part two. So I'm just going to clean up the inside a little bit with a brass wire brush on drill. Then I'll get the Dremel with a brass and get the outside edges so I don't scuff any of these surfaces. You just get these little wire brushes off Amazon, pretty cheap. Get a bunch of them. Easier with a drill motor. You can control it a little bit better than that Dremel, but it's good for getting okay. I think I could do a little bit more, but I don't really want to mess up the aluminum. Basically, just get the old gasket material out, Scotch pad, brake cleaner. Cleaned all this stuff out. Clean the sides of it up. This head is over 30 years old, so you know it's going to be hard to make it look brand new unless you take it and have it surfaced, and then it gets everything. But getting too aggressive with it, you can cause gouges and stuff, and then especially in between here, I had to get real careful with this. And I just used usually you want the red one. This one is a little bit milder. It's equal, the gray is equal to like 1,000 grit sandpaper. What else? And you want to clean around, at least I did. I clean around all these passages here, make sure they're nice and flat. I don't feel anything with my finger. So where the water goes, that's where you want to get. You want to get all these passageways clean on top here, and then compressed air, blow it all out. Blow out all the crap that got into the where the valves are, the seats, or the valve guides, or whatever. And yeah, it's these old cars. Boy, I tell you, it's hard making it look brand new. But you could, like I say, if you want to pay a machine shop to do it, and he is going to charge you. The last time I had this thing surfaced, maybe 10 years ago, it was $450. He serviced the head. He replaced the valve guide seals, ground the valves and everything. That was $450. Then I called him probably a year ago. Price is up to $750. So yeah, so basically this stuff here is really going to help. Any little scratches or imperfections, this stuff, I believe, according to Rick, it'll seal all that stuff up on both sides of the gasket. You can give it a try. Nothing, nothing lost. I mean, I know it's going to leak oil again in 8 months from now if I just put the dry gasket on there. They want you to put the dry gasket on, but that's if everything is perfect. I haven't even started on the block yet. Good morning. So, measure for flatness. So I got this on Summit Racing, Not Awake. It's got a protective rubber thing on it here. You take that off. So I'm going to do this measurement here, and what's allowable is 0.08. So I got one right here. I don't know if you can read the number there. but it's really hard to read. But it's in millimeter, so it's okay for it to go under. It's pretty tight. So that passes, and then doing around here, that's okay. I'll go through there. It'll go through the middle right there, just a little bit. It's tight on both ends. And what they say is, at least just researching it, you know, I don't do this all the time, so you gotta look stuff up, is for a 6-cylinder straight 6, it should be around, 0.06. A 4-cylinder is 0.04. So they're giving me a 0.08. It's pretty good that way. Then you go from corner to corner. Barely fits through there. They even want it lower. In the instructions, it'll 0.00. I don't even have that, and they don't even make that on these things. So I mean, it's pretty flat. It hasn't been warped. Yeah, see, it's good and tight. Then all the way across. It's tight all the way around. So we can reuse this without having to have it machined, which is a good thing. Now I've been reading up on this copper spray, and it's kind of like 50-50, you know, use it, don't use it. They say that this will, there's some engine builders, I've always used it on both sides of the gasket, just a light coating. Others say don't use it on modern gaskets because it has like a rubber coating on the gasket, and it'll melt that rubber coating. Well, this is a 30-year-old car, and it's more of a fiber metal gasket, and the copper allows the heat transfer because the head's gonna, you know, it expands and contracts with heat, and certain adhesives can cause issues of moving, but this stuff should be okay. I mean, you know, mostly the videos on YouTube are from gasket manufacturers, You know, they don't want you using any products on their gaskets. Just put it on dry. But if this was like brand new, perfectly flat, yeah, you don't need a sealer. But this hasn't been milled, and so there's, you know, slight, I'm sure there's, you take a microscope, you'll see, you know, all kinds of scratches and stuff on this. Cleaned it up real good with this thing here. There's no more gasket on there. There's just stains, you know. So I think we're good on that. We're going to give it a shot. What else? My whole table has just turned into a mess towards the end. Everything is there's just a mess. So I'm going to be working on the I'm cleaning the block today. Get my phone out of there. And it's going to be a heat wave. Could be hit 100 degrees today. And it's really hard to work out here when it's that hot. Just yesterday, just sitting out here was about 90, 95, and you just end up cooking. So this is pretty nasty. Yeah. There's a lot of corrosion from, you know, the head gasket was done 2 years ago. It looks like it's got 100,000 miles on it. I think it's from, my son drives this to work, and it's like 5 miles away. So I think it's just those short trips, you know, the carbon doesn't burn off. Maybe you get it out on the freeway, it'll, you know, burn all this stuff off, so it kind of builds up. I see some dowel here, and then a dowel here. There's a dowel here. I found the other dowel. It's stuck in the gasket. Thank God. I thought it dropped into one of the water passages. I was like, oh no. Well, I guess that wouldn't hurt it too bad, but not the best. So yeah, I'm going to just figure out how to clean this here. Just let a brake cleaner and just clean it, you know. And then maybe clean the side of the block here where I'll have access to it. Okay, so I'm going to start working on that before we've got some of the fog from the ocean, which is about that. The crow flies about 30 miles that way. Camp Pendleton, Pacific Coast Highway. It's real nice and cool right now. 63 degrees, and then it's just gonna cook around 11 o'clock. Alrighty. Yeah, start by opening up your block drain right there and get all that coolant to drain out of the passageways here, so when you clean it, it just, you know, all this debris is gonna get in there. And then get all the coolant that's in the bolt holes, the head bolt holes. Get all that coolant out of there. We're gonna chase the threads with a thread chaser when we're done cleaning. So I guess I'm just gonna, I don't really want to get any of that stuff in the oil. I believe these are oil. Water, 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 water. That's for cooling the cylinder bore, wall, whatever you want to call it, hole. And you know, I'm thinking of plugging these up so all this debris, I guess it's not that much debris, but yeah, maybe if we could use one of these bolts. Yeah, that works pretty good. That's all engine oil in there, I believe. We'll check it. turns into an oiling mess. So I cleaned it up a little bit. It's nothing worse when your tools are all over the place and then you're looking for one thing and you can't find it. I think that goes down to the crankcase. Not long enough. Yeah, I don't want all that debris getting in the crankcase. So we'll clean that out or plug it up. Coming along, looking a little better. You know, being a 30-year-old car, it doesn't look brand new. So I'm just cleaning. First I scraped as much gasket as I could, this little red stuff from the previous head gasket. And then I just used some brass wheels on a drill motor and lightly go over the whole top and top of the pistons. And here you can't really turn it, you know, because you got the chain not hooked up and stuff. That'd be messed up. You get it off top dead center, so just do the best you can if you want to. The only thing this carbon does on here just heats up, you know, retains heat, but the cars are made to run like that. And I'm sure if you know, drive it on the freeway at 100 miles an hour for 10 minutes, it'd burn all that crap off probably. What else? Yeah, and then I'm just going to I'm gonna sand the surface here. You know, they say to do that kind of hard on your back, so if you got a bad back, I don't, but this does hurt my back towards the end of the day, so doing something like this. So I want to get my back belt on just for support. I do have it up on jack stands, which kind of helps, you know, so you're not bending so far. It'd be great if it was like this right up here, but it's not. I did, it's just on this side, there's the old head bolts just fit over here if you don't want to drop anything down into the oil, the crankcase down there. So it's just time consuming, but eventually it gets it done and put back together, hopefully, and runs great. At least it does every time I do it. This runs really good. I'm just doing this because the oil, you know, this horrible area right here, this is where it, and you can even see, you can see the remnants of the old gasket right here, the dark spots. Then you see this light spot right here? This is where they developed the oil leak right there. You know? So you've got oil here, head gasket hole here, and I imagine this is, this could be a water. No, this is water. Water. Water, 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 water. I have to check and see, get a long stick and stick it down there, see what comes up. But this is where the head gaskets fail right here. I guess it gets really hot. It makes no sense to me, but that's why I'm going to use that spray, that gasket spray, that copper spray. A little tidbit here of a little cooling mod. Just got this. It's from MTC. Not too expensive. And it says Waller. I've heard that name before. And this is a thermostat from a 1970, I think it's 78 or 79 450 SL. And its opening temperature is 75 Celsius. The normal ones for these cars are 87 Celsius, so this is supposed to help in keeping it run cooler during the summer. So I'm just going to try it. you know, and see what it does. See if it actually keeps the temps down. Looking a little better, I'd say. Yeah. So what I did was pretty crusty. It was pretty crusty. So you're gonna need air. Okay. You're gonna need carburetor spray, bunch of rags, some of this stuff. Doesn't matter what kind. You can use the green one if you want. And then the real crusty stuff, I lightly go over the top of the piston with one of these brass. I just lightly go over and get most of the crust off each one. Okay. And then around the edges, I get one of these. This is for a Dremel, but you can put it on a drill. Comes in brass or steel. This one's steel. And then you lightly go over all the little remaining spots, because there'll be spots. And while you're doing this, you pre-soak all of this stuff. Carburetor cleaner, it'll get into that carbon and loosen it up. If you don't, then you'll be scraping forever. And you just keep working at it. You know, don't get too aggressive. Just keep working at it. Okay, and clean all the cylinder walls. When you're done, blow out all this area here where the ring goes. A bunch of stuff will come out right here. Now I'm going to try to surface the block a little bit, and then we'll measure it. Cheers. Okay, so I just did a little bit of light sanding. You can't do very much. It's kind of hard to get to, but I just used, I saw on the internet they're using just an 80 grit, and then down to a 400 grit, 600 grit. You can use a little bit of this, if you want, but it's kind of hard because things get in the way. So just clean it up the best you can, I guess, right? Then I just measured the block, and it's really flat. 0.08 won't even fit through there, so it's pretty good. Both sides, crossways like that. Measure in between, and it's tight. It's an iron block. They don't really warp. I think they crack more than they warp. So the next thing we're gonna do is clean out these holes the best we can. You can see there's water in that one there. We're gonna clean them up, and then we're gonna chase the threads. And to get in here to clean these pistons, I was using like a Scotch pad. I'd spray it with some carburetor cleaner, and I'd put it in there. And then I had like this wooden dowel, and it really helped clean around the edges here. You don't want to score the walls on the cylinders, but it just helps because it's hard to get your hand in there, you know. And you do that, and you clean it about 5 times, and they'll be cleaned one more time probably. Maybe 2 more times before the head goes on. And just inspect everything you can on this side of the block. You know, you got your freeze plugs here. Make sure they're not leaking or they're not all crusty. You can see how dirty that block is down there. It's just oil city. So it's starting to heat up. Clouds are gone. I started doing this at 6 in the morning. It's now almost 11, and I can feel that sun on my back. But I wish I should have a easy up here. That'd be nice. You can keep working during the day, but just sitting out here with that sun beating on the back of your neck wears you out. So yeah, we'll do thread chaser. And what I did last time is I just took a just an old head bolt, and with like a cut off wheel, I just cut a groove on both sides of a cleaned head bolt. Doesn't matter if the groove's a little sideways, but it just basically just goes in, and you just turn it in until it bottoms out. And then when you turn it out, it picks up any crap that's going to be in the threads. There's not going to be much, but it's just like hardened, grease hardened oil deposits. Yeah, you just keep doing that and clean it and keep doing it until it comes out with nothing on it. Probably spray some carburetor clean in there too. It'll help out. Anything helps. Use your imagination. But that's what I have to do next. And then we'll figure it out. It'll be close to putting the head back on. I'm going to clean up the head a little bit, the top of it, all along here while you got this off. You know, you can take your coolant sensors off if you want. I'm just going to leave them in because they were off last summer. This is a brand new one. This is a new one. This is an old one. This is the 2-pin for auxiliary fans. It's a coolant temperature sensor. This is for your gauge on the dashboard, the coolant. You know, this is what tells you. That's all it does, just one pin. This is a 4-pin. It has several functions. I believe some of it is tells the fuel injection system how warm the car is. It's got other stuff. Anyways, yeah, I'm just gonna just clean all the edges here with some carburetor cleaner, rags, Q-tips, whatever you've got. You know, look for any dirt in here, which are probably like little specks of stuff in there. Blow it out. Hopefully these lifters hadn't drained all their oil. They might have, but they'll pump right back up. You know, and once I get this thing back on, before putting a cover on it, I'm just going to oil everything here, and then rub oil on the inside of the cylinder walls. So when you start it up, there's lubrication there already, but then it'll start lubing itself. Okie doke. Well, it's coming along. I got most everything clean. I just degreased this whole side and underneath. It's not perfect because, you know, it's an old car, but at least I'll be able to tell if there's any oil leaks developing in the future. So that's good. I did all the bolt holes with thread chaser, and I rolled up a paper towel and stuck it down each hole, and got any water and stuff like that, and then blow it out with air. And blow it out with air, you'll have all kinds of crap coming into your face and everywhere. So other than that, now I'm getting pretty close to putting the head gasket on. And I think I'll wait for my son, just so that there can be two of us here gently lowering the head onto the gasket. I've done it myself, but it'd be nice to have somebody just in case, you know. All right. Okay, just heads up on this little water pipe right here. Put that on before putting the head on, because if you put the head on, it is a pain in the butt trying to get that thing on. I've done it once on a 300 SC, and it took like an hour to get it on there, because there's a little, you know, room. So put it on, put the hose clamps on, don't tighten them. Put the hose clamps on, because the space between the intake manifold and that hose, it's right up against it. So just getting this last this clamp from here over to here is a pain in the butt. So just try to get it over there. You know, if you screw up and you forget to do it, there's ways of doing it, but it takes a lot of Vaseline, a lot of silicone, a lot of lubricants to just get this thing to fit, you know, over it. Then what I'm going to do is, when I have the head and ready to put it down, I'm going to lubricate this with maybe some Vaseline, so that this coolant pipe slides right over it. And I'll put some on that too, so I'm not struggling with it, you know, throwing your back out. And then I'm going to put this intake manifold gasket on. Check these dowels. This one's kind of loose. It could fall out. Please don't fall out. I should glue that in there just a little bit. But I'm going to put the manifold on there, and sometimes it has a way of, you know, falling off these dowels right when you're in the middle with the head and stuff, and it's like, oh crap. So I'm just going to either adhere a little bit with a sealant maybe on there, or just get some dental floss and just tie dental floss from here to here, from here to here, just to hold it, keep it from falling. Let's screw your whole day up and doing stuff like that. As you're taking things apart, notice things that seem to be unusual, like this cold start injector that was on the intake manifold. It did not have a gasket, so I made a gasket out of gasket material, okay? And what this does is it's a cold start injector for when your engine is cold. Rarely, unless you live in a super cold climate, it doesn't really do much. But let's see, it's installed down here, but if you don't have a gasket on there, possibly. I know on my 500 SL, it really messed with it. It will suck in extra air from not having a gasket there, and it can mess with your, you know, your fuel mixture type stuff like that, because if this is all pretty much metered. So I don't know what happened to the gasket. Maybe last time I did it, it flew off, or the first time I did it, it flew off. Want your engine to look a little prettier, you can clean off the exhaust manifolds. I did that like 10 years ago. I really went through there with a wire brush on a drill motor, clean them up. So it's really easy, just, you know, after you do that, if you have to do it over again down the road, it's easy to just get a little bit of this high heat and just clean parts up. I like clean engines because then I can see where problems are. And plus, I have time to do it. All right, let's compare head gaskets here. So here's the Victor Rhines gasket. Not very expensive. Here is a Mercedes-Benz dealer gasket I got last time. $137. And I think this is $42. So pretty much same thing, right? Didn't look any thicker. This is a fiber gasket. So it looks like it's got some kind of a shiny seal on it. It's got that little bead all the way around it. Then the instructions. It's for a 6-cylinder. So here it says 70 Newton meters and then 2 90s. Okay. I can't read any of that. Torquing guidelines for cylinder head gaskets. Yeah. So 70. Now I have heard that on the Benz forum. Some people say, no, do it towards do it with the Mercedes information from their factory. Then other people say this, so I don't know. Any way you do it, the last 2 90s are going to be tighter than tight can be. So, yeah, that's it. Yeah, pick up some of this Loctite 242 blue. It's a thread locker that's removable, but you use it for all the regular kind of bolts, like the valve cover bolts and anything that you put back into that engine that has a thread. You put some of that in there so it doesn't vibrate loose, and then it's gone. So got it on Amazon. I forget how much, not a whole lot. So I've got found some kite string, and so I've got it. First I thought it was just going to stay on there with these plugs, but it started coming loose and hanging like that. So now I feel confident that it's not going to be going anywhere if I'm bumping it with the head as I'm trying to line up these pins. Let's see, there's a pin here, there's a pin here, and that's it. 2 pins. And the sun is coming out, and it's a cooker. I can already feel it. It's 79 degrees, but it feels like it's 90. I think it's the humidity, Darn, come on. I want some overcast. Where's the June gloom? I'm getting ripped off here. Thought I'd get this job done before the heat of summer, but so my son's taking the van to work. I told him not to make it all, not to blow any head gaskets in it. That thing never overheats. You know why? It's got electric fans for the radiator. Same with this Lincoln. I did put the 450 SL thermostat in, real easy. 3 bolts. This is a bleeder for your air. Burp the system after you run it for a couple of minutes. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And I got an easy up canopy that I'm going to put over here so I can work on it in the broiling sun. Okay, so I got the gasket up here. I'm just going to hang it here. Coat both sides with this stuff here. I've got all my stuff ready. Both surfaces have been cleaned with a lacquer thinner. I've got the tightening sequence for the bolts. I have my head bolts greased up with some black grease. I did that because my neighbor Rick the mechanic said that's what he uses on head bolts, especially for his diesel truck engines, so that they turn in torque easily. They won't snap on you. So we're gonna pick it up, I'm gonna set it here, and hopefully get it on here. All right. Okay. Got the gasket on. Right. Y'all see this?
You want me to hold that?
Yeah, that's a good thing. That is black grease. So
Uh,
just one here. There'll be a hole here.
Oh, okay.
See these holes?
Yeah.
And that thing there.
This might fuck my finger up, but that's not too bad.
Oh, man. Okay. Oh shit. Okay. We wrestled it in. And just dropped that. Fun, huh?
I love it. Yeah, it wasn't too bad, but
Not too bad. It's just awkward.
yeah. If this wasn't here, it'd be
I know, but you got to suspend that chain. You don't want it to drop. You know.
Well, couldn't
I'm
you?
sure that. Put a bunch of tape on this thing. It just, every time you go like this, it drops, hits the ground. So do that. Okay, so I've got them down. The bolts are down. Got this set to 55 Newton meters. And then I'm going to start with the, let's see, number one. Be one, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I got a little bit of paint in here. Wait. There. I got a toothpick with some paint on it, and I put a dot on each one like that. Get some more paint on it. See that dot? Do that to each one of them. That way, the next two 90s, I'll be able to see where that dot is turned to for the 90. So I got all the dots on there, all the way along. Now you can get a dial gauge that'll show you your 90, and I did buy one, and it just made me mad. It kept messing up on me, so I just said screw it. So basically you'll, you know, this is the way I'm doing it, and it's a lot quicker. You don't have to take this gauge and move it from one to another. This way you can just look at it when you're turning it to a visual. Okay, let's look at our 90 degrees. So got the 90 degree right here. So I just need to crank it down to there, then rest for 15 minutes, walk away, come back 15 minutes later, and do another one, so it'll be down to here. Okay, I got the first 90. You can see the dots are changed. They're not at the top anymore. And that takes everything I have to get it to that. Now, we're gonna let it rest for 15 minutes. So it's a quarter to 7, so a little bit after 7. We'll do the last one right now. It's compressing the gasket. It's compressing. After 15 minutes, it'll be compressed. And then we do the final, and then I'll be done with that. Good grief. Okay, I'm gonna do the last 90. And it's done. We got them all at the 90, the last 90. Let's see, which one was it? I wouldn't get these Victor Rhines head bolts. Got interrupted. So yeah, so this one, see how it's kind of weird looking compared to a nice clean one, and then that one. I was like, holy crap. Did it as soon as I went to do the last 90 on it. Just started feeling like funny, but I was able to get the wrench way over here and lock into it, and finally got it down. I was going, holy crap, after all this. So probably the dealer bolts are going to be a harder steel. That's the only thing I could think of, because the bit, where is it? Where are you, bit? The bit is hardened steel. And it's good. I've used this is the third time I'm doing this, so yeah, after all that work, you know, but at least I got all of them. So I'm gonna have an ice cold one and relax. Now it's still a lot of work putting all this crap back on it, but and I'm just going to start over here and work my way around here, and then do the front, and then I can fill it, hopefully start it up, and it's going to run great, right? Not leak anything. If it leaks something, then we drive this off a cliff. Okay.